Today we woke up to the very interesting news that the members of parliament agreed with the president's recommendation to repeal the rate cap. Now, this was unbelievable news because after 3 years of trying to overturn the introduction of the rate cap, no one really believed that this day would come. So it is great news. I think it's pleasantly surprising news, and it is even much better than what everybody expected, because I think people had settled down to the conclusion that a rate cap modification is palatable, and to wake up to the news that the rate cap has been repealed was a really pleasant surprise. So I think the quick question is, then who are the winners in this decision? And I think the first group of stakeholders that come to mind is the investors. I believe the investors were the most hurt. They took the most bitter pill when the rate cap was introduced, with the bank valuations being suffering from very significant haircuts within a very short period of time. And today we're already seeing the banking stocks are already up between 5 and 10%. So that tells you today is a really good day for investors. Another group that really comes to mind is the small to mid-sized banks, who, with the introduction of rate cap, there was no more differentiation between going to the big bank or high quality banks to what you'd call lower than high quality banks, which are the small to mid-sized banks. Today they have gotten back their pricing power. Today they're able to compete again based on pricing of their deposits, on pricing of their loans. So it's a significant day for them, and especially once this process is completed. Another group that really comes to mind is the SMEs. The SMEs had literally been cut off from accessing credit, and I think going forward they are going to be able to access credit from the mainstream banking sector. Before, they've had to rely on Shylocks, on other informal forms of lending, which are quite expensive, even compared to the previous regime before the interest rate cap was introduced. I think also the retail banks are going to benefit greatly. Here we're talking about banks like Equity Bank, Cooperative Bank, KCB Bank, who are very retail focused. They are going to benefit quite a bit. Their borrowings or lendings are quite short-term based, and therefore, with the condition that has been given that the existing loans will not be repriced, then they will not have to wait for too long before they're able to reprice their loans to more market rates. I think the stock market is also going to benefit greatly. Remember that the banking stock make a significant portion of the listed securities within the Nairobi Securities Exchange, and therefore this could potentially be a catalyst for market to rediscover its trend to rally, and we're already seeing that excitement in the market. I think also the private sector, we are going to benefit in general. More access to credit for the SMEs will also lead to more economic activities for the other bigger enterprises in the private sector, which means they will also be able to benefit more. And lastly, the general economy. I think with economic activity pumping up, we are going to experience better growth prospects going forward. So who are likely to be the biggest losers today with the repealing of the rate cap? I think the customer, unfortunately, with this decision, it really doesn't work for them, because value had moved away from shareholders or investors to customers, and today value has moved back from customers to shareholders and investors, and therefore they are likely to suffer the most. I think who are the biggest beneficiaries of the rate cap regime? I think the corporate sector were able to access loans at very attractive rates, and I think that is likely to nudge upwards going forward. So overall, it's a very unbelievable event or happening that has taken place in this week, and I think we are going to see more and more reaction from other stakeholders in the economy. It's unbelievably an unbelievable good day for investors. Thank you very much.